Hello my dear friends, this is Ovi Ghate from Department of Physics, Arham School and College. Today we are going to learn about PN junction diode. This word you might be heard in class 11th, but today we are recalling all the basic knowledge what we have learned in 11th. So let's start. First of all, there are three types of matter: conductors, semiconductors and insulators. As you all know, conductors are good conductor of electricity like copper, aluminium, gold. These all metals are considered as conductors. While the new type of matter is semiconductor. It has intermediate property between conductor and insulator. Means if the semiconductor are in room temperature, they will have property of insulator, and if the temperature increases, they will act as conductor. Now insulator obviously they are bad conductors of electricity like wood and plastic. So this is all the basic knowledge you already know. Moving towards, we'll take some brief idea about semiconductor. They are crystalline amorphous solid. Solid state electronic arises from unique properties of silicon and germanium. This silicon and germanium is having 4 valence electrons, that means free electrons in its outermost orbit. So now why only silicon and germanium is considered as the good semiconductors? Because of the availability of free electrons. And these two, silicon and germanium, is having 4 valence electrons. As you can see, the electronic configuration of silicon and germanium. Silicon has atomic number 14 and germanium is having 32. As you can see the electronic configuration, silicon and germanium is having 4 valence electron in its outer orbit. You can see the location of this silicon and germanium in modern periodic table, so that you can get the clear idea why they are having this type of scenario. Now what is the application of semiconductor devices and what is the use of studying semiconductor devices? So semiconductor material is used in manufacturing of electrical components. Consider in a day how many times you switch on or switch off the light, fan and other electronic gadgets. Now this on off condition of electronic gadgets can be done with the help of semiconductor devices. Now this is the necessity of learning these semiconductor devices, and this is the basic use of diode, on and off. Now what are the types of semiconductor? As you see, germanium and silicon are two best semiconductors we are having in modern periodic table. The pure form of silicon and germanium are called as intrinsic semiconductor. Means the pure form of silicon and germanium is nothing but the intrinsic semiconductor. On the other hand, when we add some impurity, it is called as extrinsic semiconductor. There are two types of extrinsic semiconductor, N type and P type. I will explain it in before. So, how can I get extrinsic semiconductor from intrinsic semiconductor? As you know, intrinsic means pure and extrinsic means impure. Suppose we need to improve the quality of that semiconductor, we should add some impurity. Now impurity means which type of impurity? First of all, we'll see what is meant by doping. Doping is the process of addition of impurity to the pure form of semiconductor to alter their properties. Some impurity is good enough. Normally, trivalent and pentavalent elements are used to drop silicon and germanium. Concentrate on that word trivalent and pentavalent. What is meant by trivalent? Obviously, the elements are having 3 electrons in its outermost orbit, and pentavalent means having 5 valence electrons in its outermost orbit. Now, which are the pentavalent and trivalent impurity we are having in periodic table? So, phosphorus, arsenic, antimony, these are some pentavalent impurities we are having. Similarly, boron, gallium, indium and aluminium, these are trivalent impurity we are having. So, if we add pentavalent impurity in pure form of semiconductor, we will get N type of semiconductor. And if we add 3 valence electrons trivalent impurity in pure form of semiconductor, we will get P type of semiconductor. Let's see how. Now, why doping is used in semiconductor? As I told you earlier, the purpose of modulating electrical, optical and structural properties, doping is essential. And the doped material is called as extrinsic semiconductors, nothing but the impure semiconductor. Now, formation of N-type semiconductor. When pure form of silicon is doped with phosphorus, silicon is pure form of semiconductor and phosphorus is pentavalent impurity. As you can see in diagram, the covalent bonds are formed between phosphorus and silicon atoms. Now, the 4 valence electron from silicon forms covalent bond with 4 electrons of phosphorus. Now, the 1 electron left. What will happen with this 1 electron left? This 1 electron left and will be freely move inside the element. Now, this is how we can get number of electrons in silicon and phosphorus combination. That's why this is called as N-type semiconductor. N means negative and electron is also having negative charge. Now this electron, we will get number of electrons in N-type semiconductor. Now moving towards the formation of P-type semiconductor. For the formation of P-type semiconductor, we need to add trivalent impurity into pure form of silicon. As you can see in diagram, 4 covalent bonds are formed, but 1 covalent bond is incomplete because of lack of electron in aluminium. Now, lack of electron means lack of negativity, and lack of negativity means presence of positivity, and this presence of positivity is called as hole. Now, in this manner, we will get number of holes in P-type semiconductor. Hole carries positive charge, that's why it is called as P-type of semiconductor. Now, in this manner, you can compare P-type and N-type semiconductor on the basis of different parameters. This question can be asked for 2 marks. Type of impurity. In P-type semiconductor, trivalent impurity is used, while in N, it is pentavalent. P-type is having majority charge carrier as holes, and in N-type semiconductor, electrons are the majority charge carriers. Now, type of charge carriers. They are the acceptors type in P-type, while the donors are in N-type. Minority charge carriers electrons are present in P-type semiconductor, while holes in N-type semiconductor. You need to pay attention over majority and minority, P and N-type. Now the examples of impurity. Which type of impurity we used for P-type semiconductor? Obviously trivalent. And for N-type we use pentavalent impurity. Now the position of energy level. The energy level of acceptor lies nearer to the valence band but away from conduction band. And the energy level of donor lies nearer to the conduction band but away from the valence band. To understand this last point, we need to pay attention over these diagrams. Some important definitions. Energy band diagram. What is meant by energy band diagram? Electrons are placed into different kinds of energy levels according to their energies. Ground state and upper state. This is the basic energy band diagram. By absorbing some energy, electron can jump into the upper state. And when electron emits some energy, it jumps to the ground state. Band gap. Band gap is the difference in energy between the valence band and the conduction band. These are the energy level, valence band and conduction band. Fermi level is the highest energy state occupied by electrons in material at absolute temperature. On other hand, we can say Fermi level is also a work done to add an electron to the system. Now you can see the difference between energy band in metal, in semiconductor and in insulator. As you can see, the band gap for metal is 0, approximately 0 we can say. On the other hand, the band gap for semiconductor is quite small. But in case of insulator, the band gap is so large that the electrons cannot easily jump to the conduction band and conduction cannot happen. That's why insulator is bad conductor of electricity. But in semiconductor, if we push the electrons by providing some thermal energy, they can jump into the conduction band and conduction can happen. This energy band gap will be also clearer. First diagram is for insulator, second is for semiconductor, and the third for conductor. So this diagram will help you to understand the band gap for three different types of matter. Now the energy band diagram for p-type semiconductor. What will happen in p-type semiconductor? As you can see in first diagram, acceptor energy level is nearer to the valence band. The other diagram showing p-type is connected to the battery and current is flowing through the circuit. The direction of electron is also given there. Black dots are holes and the hollow circle is electron. This will happen if p-type semiconductor is connected to power supply. This is the energy band diagram for n-type. The donor energy level lies nearer to the conduction band. Now what is meant by PN junction diode? We studied p-type semiconductor and n-type semiconductor separately. Now what will happen when this p-type and n-type semiconductor suitably joined? As you can see in diagram, left hand side is p-type material and right hand side is n-type material. When these two types of material suitably join, we get the p-n junction diode. The junction between p-type semiconductor and n-type semiconductor is called as p-n junction. It is also called as space charge region. It is also called as depletion region. There are many names: depletion region, depletion layer, depletion zone, junction region, space charge region or space charge layer. These are the same thing. Now as you can see, p-type semiconductor is having holes in majority, while in n-type material, electrons in majority. Now, when we provide voltage or battery supply to PN junction diode, it will pass some current through it. This process is called as biasing. Simply, when the diode is connected to the battery, that process is called as biasing of PN junction diode. On the left hand side, you can see unbiased PN junction diode. On right hand side, you can see biased PN junction diode. When PN junction diode is connected to the battery, current flows through it. Now there are two types of biasing of PN junction diode. Firstly, we will see what is forward biased PN junction diode. Forward bias PN junction diode is nothing but when the DC source positive terminal of battery is connected to p-type semiconductor while n-type semiconductor is connected to the negative terminal of battery, as you can see in diagram. And in reverse bias, the p-type is connected to negative terminal of battery and n-type is connected to positive terminal of battery. Now what will happen when this forward bias and reverse bias? The potential barrier reduces. Voltage of anode is greater than cathode. Depletion layer thin in forward bias. Current flow allows. And the magnitude of current, it depends on the forward voltage. In short, in forward bias, current flows through majority charge carriers. Just imagine when P is connected to P region, that means holes will be repelled from P region to N region. Similarly, when N is connected to negative, electrons will repel towards P region. That's why the depletion layer will be thin. But in case of reverse bias, when P is connected to negative, the holes will attract towards negative terminal and electrons will attract towards positive terminal. In reverse bias condition, current will not flow due to majority charge carrier but due to minority charge carrier. This is the symbol for diode, cathode and anode. Now, we need to study VI characteristics of PN junction diode. As we can see, forward bias PN junction diode, current flows due to majority charge carriers. This is the forward bias connection on left hand side. If we connect voltmeter in parallel and milliammeter in series, we can measure current and corresponding voltage. And if we plot a graph between V means voltage and I means current, we get this kind of graph. When we provide some potential to the diode, For some instant, current did not flow through the circuit, but suddenly at some point, at some voltage, current rapidly increases. For silicon diode, after zero point 0.7 volt, current increases rapidly. That's why this 0.7 volt is called as knee voltage for forward bias PN junction diode. Now what will happen in reverse bias VI characteristics? In reverse bias, we will get graph in third quadrant. Similarly, we will get breakdown voltage. For first some voltages, current will be stable, and after some voltage, it gets rapidly decrease. So this is reverse biased VI characteristics. Now some questionnaire I have provided to you just to practice what we studied in this session. You just solve all these questions. Some of the triggering question which are challenging question I have asked and have also answered the same. So these are all challenging questions you are having. Hope you all understand this session. Thank you.